real life, you know, if I was spiritual enough. Because, you know, I mean, no offense to like some of these preachers that would go on TVN, but the way that they presented, I just thought that if I was deep enough and prayed enough and fasted enough and wore the right skirt enough, I wouldn't have problems. Because everything was solved by charismatic, emotional, sensational ministry, right? Come on, who is the Holy Ghost talking to? Can anybody relate to what I'm saying? And then I found out, and my style of ministry has changed a lot. That's why I can prophesy, like, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? I can shift from a comic to a preacher to a theologian and shift right back and then throw on there, like, you feel me? Because I realized that all the sensationalism and all of that wasn't going to make me any more powerful. And I don't know who the Holy Ghost talks about this, but some of my most prophetic moments I have been completely unaware of, because they were very natural moments too. And so when we talk about the prophetic and the power of God and all of these things, what I've learned is that the power is God's power. I don't have to do anything. When I first got the calling, I don't know, there might be somebody that feels called the prophetic ministry really easier, so I'm gonna get back to the Bible thing. But I remember I had this huge grand, experience where we were at a prayer meeting back in like 2003 in Baltimore in this storefront church, and the pastor came in. He said, all right, everybody worship the Lord, pray in tongues, and do this and that. So we're all doing what he said, and he stopped and he said, ask the Lord a question. What do you want to know? What do you want from God? So I was like, God, I had on jeans, they were all ripped up, my hair was in a ponytail, I had no makeup on, and I was just kind of ornery in the corner like, God, just pray and tell me, what do you want me to do with my life? I just waited. Okay, so he moves on, starts lining people up at the altar, elders, and then he would have a congregant come up, and the elder would prophesy to the congregant. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, I hope I get a word, all right. He says, little girl, he points at me, little girl, come in. And I was like, okay, I get my word. I walk up there like, what did you tell me? He turned me on the wrong side. I thought he just got like vertigo for a minute, because instead of putting me on the side where I was going to receive a word, he had me on the giving side. I was like, something wrong with this man. So I was looking at him like, okay, he's gonna figure this out in a minute. Then he started calling up strangers. I didn't know these people. He said, prophesy to them. I was like, dude, what? Well, I fell out on the floor. I just fell out on the floor. He said, pick her up. He said, pick her up. Shake it out of this one. I was like, ow, them gators, I felt right on his gators too. And I was like, oh. And he took me like a Benny Hinn crusade. Pick her up. Pick her up. And I was like, man, this is just weird. I don't know. My husband was looking at me. I was married this time. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So finally, because he was not letting me get out of it, he was sticking his finger, all these weird sensations. I stick his fingers in my ears, rubbing me on my back. So finally, I open up my mouth and I start, saying what I thought, with my finger in my mouth, by the way. I feel like maybe, God is saying blah, blah, blah. Man, these people start freaking out, falling. I was not charismatic, I was raised New Age. So when they start crying and falling out on the floor, I'm waiting like, am I in trouble? Like, what is going on? He began to move me and shift me and just force me. And so I would pray every single week, God, don't ever let him do that to me again. Please. Now, how did I get over here? It was a practical reason I came over here. But, I got into that place where I had this grand stuff as a prophet. And, I just thought that at that point in time, maybe everything was going to be all gravy and this and that. And now I just seek the Lord and I can be really sensational and powerful and glorious and this and that and whatever. And little did I know, even the process of a prophet sometimes can be to go through very deep sorrow and very deep difficulty, so that you can then become a mouthpiece for God, and you can be sensitive to his touch, and you can be aware of your humanity enough to know that it's all God and not you. And some